All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible systems that are, well, pretty much running your online life. We're talking about everything from the news you see to the stuff you buy. It's a world that's built on your data, and we're going to show you exactly how it works and how you can start to reclaim a piece of it.
You know that feeling, right? It's a little creepy. It really feels like your phone is listening to every word you say. And, while it's a bit more complicated than that, this experience gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today. It's not magic, and it is definitely not a coincidence. It's a system, a very deliberate one, and we're going to break it down.
So, how does this system actually work? Well, it all starts with the raw material that fuels it. And that raw material is you. Or, to be more specific, something called your digital exhaust.
Okay, so think about it like this. Every single time you click, search, scroll, like something, or even just hover your mouse over a video, you're leaving behind a tiny trace, a little digital breadcrumb. Now, one breadcrumb seems totally meaningless, right? But when you put them all together, they start to paint this incredibly detailed picture of exactly who you are.
And look, it's not just your online behavior. It's also your core identity, what this guy calls your key assets. I'm talking about the building blocks of your digital self. When all this stuff is collected and combined, it becomes unbelievably valuable, which leads to the big question: valuable to whom? Let's meet the architects. These are the folks who take all that raw material, your data, and actually build something with it. These are the invisible engines that turn your digital exhaust into cold, hard cash.
We usually think of algorithms as our helpful little assistants, right? Like a friendly librarian pointing us to a book we might really like. But that's not the whole picture, not even close. Their main job isn't just to recommend things, it's to predict things, to make very educated bets on what you'll do, what you'll think, or what you'll buy next, and then to give you a gentle, subtle nudge in that direction.
So algorithms are the ones we see. They're on the front lines. But they get a huge amount of their data from this massive hidden industry that most people have never even heard of: data brokers. So if algorithms are the chefs, think of data brokers as these giant secret suppliers stocking the pantry with an endless supply of ingredients, and all those ingredients are about you.
What this shows us is an entire economy just humming along in the background of our lives. These companies, they don't make anything you can buy. Their product is you. Literally. They buy your browsing history, your location data, your shopping habits, even public records, and they bundle all of it up into these super detailed profiles to sell to the highest bidder.
Okay, so we've got the raw material, that's our data, and we've got the architects, the algorithms and data brokers, but what's the grand design here? What's the economic logic that's driving this entire massive enterprise?
A scholar named Shoshana Zuboff gave it a name: surveillance capitalism. And this is so important. She argues that this is not just some new spin on old capitalism. It is fundamentally completely different, something brand new. Trying to understand it with old ideas is like calling the very first car a horseless carriage. Sure, you see what it's not, but you totally miss what it is.
And the fuel for this crazy new engine is what Zuboff calls behavioral surplus. This is all the data that's captured that goes way beyond what's actually needed to provide you with the service. Think about it. Google needs your search query to give you search results. Simple enough. But it does not need to know about the typos you made or how you rephrased the question or that you hesitated for half a second before clicking the third link. That extra stuff, that surplus, that's the gold. Because it predicts your uncertainty, your curiosity, your real intent.
So how much is that gold worth? Well, this number. This is Google's revenue increase in just the first few years after it figured out how to turn that behavioral surplus into money. A mind-blowing 3,590%. It was basically the birth of an economic juggernaut.
This quote, it really gets to the heart of the power dynamic. What she's saying is these companies claim the freedom to know everything about us, and they use that knowledge to protect and expand their own freedom to operate without anyone interfering. It's like a one-way mirror. They see us perfectly, but we can't see them at all.
I know. This all sounds enormous, maybe even a little overwhelming. But the goal here is not to make you feel hopeless. It's to help you understand. Because once you actually understand how the system works, you can start to push back. So let's look at a few really practical things you can do right now.
We can break this down into 3 key battlegrounds, right? These are the places where your data is most at risk and where your actions can have the biggest impact. We're talking about your social media, your online shopping profiles, and of course, the devices you use every single day.
Okay, here's a perfect example of a direct way these apps hoover up your data. So many of us, myself included, have given apps like Messenger access to our contacts without even thinking about it, usually because the request pops up when we're in the middle of doing something else. If you just go into your settings and turn this one feature off, you are severing a major data pipeline, just like that.
All right, next up, online shopping. A platform like Amazon doesn't just know what you buy. Oh no, it knows what you look for, what you think about buying, what you put in your cart and then take out. It's an incredibly intimate look into your wants, your needs, your desires.
But you do have some control. Deep inside your Amazon account settings, and trust me, it's often buried on purpose, is the option to turn off personalized or interest-based ads. This one click tells Amazon, hey, stop using my shopping behavior to follow me all over the internet with ads. It's a small thing, but it makes a difference.
And you have to stay on your toes, because companies are always rolling out new things, like Amazon's Sidewalk. This is basically a shared network that uses a little slice of your home internet. And here's the kicker. You're automatically opted in. This is a classic dark pattern, a design choice that's meant to trick you into agreeing to something you might not want. You actually have to go into your settings and actively turn it off.
And here are a few more quick, high-impact things you can do. Turn off photo geotagging on your phone, seriously. Get in the habit of clearing your tracking cookies. Guard your social security number like it's gold. And please, always use a VPN on public Wi-Fi. Every single one of these is a small act of resistance.
So here's the big takeaway. You are not helpless in this, not at all. And while, yeah, we can't completely unplug from the system, we can become more difficult, less profitable targets. Every single setting you change, every permission you deny, it's like throwing a little grain of sand into the gears of this giant machine.
And that's where we'll end things. Just remember, this isn't only about data. It's about our right to our own future, our right to have experiences that aren't immediately captured, packaged, and sold. The very first step in that fight is being able to name the danger. And now you can. Thanks for joining this Explain.